Good morning. Friday. Yes. It's sometimes hard to think of which day is which when and where I stopped and stuff. But yeah, yesterday was a great day in many aspects. I had a good experience. Like I stated at in the previous video, I was going out to try to find my international license. I went to the post office and I asked and talked to them, and it's in Japan, but it need to clear customs first again. So it probably will arrive either they didn't know if it would be today on Saturday or if it were to be on Monday because this recommended letter thing, I had misunderstood it. It seems like they might go to my apartment and ring the door on a Saturday because the office in and of itself is closed on Saturday. So every letter that's gonna be on a pickup spot will be at the earliest on Monday afternoon. But he thought that I might maybe come to the apartment today, either today or I will get it on Monday because this recommended letter is a priority issue. But we'll see. So far, they have not arrived, and so spoiler there. No, on Saturday's note, no international license. But my flight is in the evening on Tuesday, so I have Monday and Tuesday as possible dates to get it, and it seemed very, very likely I could get it on Monday, and if not Monday, almost guaranteed on Tuesday. So it would be in the last possible nick of time, it feels like. Otherwise, my thoughts right now is to maybe look at other flights and try to change things because on Friday is the important thing I need a car for. I want a car for a long period so I can go around quite a lot. I have actually looked up spots that are not tourist spots at all. It might be for nature buffs and stuff like that, but it's not places you go as a tourist. I am probably gonna visit two places if it doesn't seem that could be possible tourist spots, but it's also a bit varied according to what I've understood it about how often tourists go there because Kyushu is still not as infested as the Kanto and Kansai areas where for instance, one of the people I guided on the airport, they contacted me yesterday during the night, pretty drunk, but they were they got a lot of tips, but they also said that when they left Tokyo, they would have preferred to have someone that actually knew Japan with them, and a lot of foreigners are a bit, well, especially foreigners that don't know Japanese, are a bit afraid of finding people. And I think this is a pretty common thing. People are shy, or I don't know to what to call it other than shy, when it comes to getting new contacts and speaking to people. It's scary, I guess, and I mean, I feel it as well, but I also have a very high drive to speak to people because I find it fun, especially in Japan, where most of the speaking experiences end up in very positive outcomes. In Sweden, nah, not really, and also most Swedish people are boring. Anyhow, not to this Sweden in its entirety. No driver's license, so I went back to the apartment here and I did some things, minor stuff, and then I actually packed up all my or packed up, I prepared to go to a place I wanted to go since I arrived, and that is Kitaurawa. For those who don't know, Kitaurawa, the first trip I went to Japan that I wrote my blog on, this 50-page diary, very extensive of my first experiences, and the trip that to this day is still the most profound in terms of experiences and challenges in so many ways. I mean, I really did feel like a different person after that, and my entire outlook of life changed. I did it in a spur of a moment. I'm not a spur of a moment guy, not in that sense, and to just in the middle of the night just book a trip across the world, and I did not know anything about Japan other than that I wanted to go there. I mean, I watched a lot of anime. I was still the chairman and the founder of several groups of anime and Asian pop culture associations, but I didn't really know anything about Japan other than I thought it was cool, and I been interested in the games and the culture, not as much then as I am now, but I was interested in just Japan. It looked so cool, especially the realistic animals where they are showing people in normal life with minimal strangeness involved, like you can have in science fiction and children animation aimed at children, because I have watched things all over the spectrum. But Japan is an awesome place. So anyhow, uh, I went back there as I do every time. Before Until 2023, I went to Kitaurawa the first thing I did. And this is one thing that is a bit sad, because I had a tradition that since my first trip, I went there, and it took me quite a while the first journey. I did so many mistakes. And then I had such, the first day in Japan was such a shock, and I went to the apartment. I managed to go to the apartment. I slept, and then I went out, and I was in the mindset, oh, I'm gonna speak Japanese. And the Japanese I knew then was barely mas des form, and it was so overwhelming. And I mean, barely 21 years old, which today I think is like Kodomo Mitaya. It's like a child in my mind compared to, that's because I've worked with youths in that around that age, and I don't think they are. I mean, even the smartest of them that are smarter than me that I found that I met are still kind of naive in a very weird way, because it's not easy to realize how young you are, and how much of the youth that is still remains in your 20s. It would have been very fun to have a discussion with myself now from uh, almost 18 years ago, and just listen to what how we were differ. I know some things, like I was a lot more disciplined and a lot quicker in thinking back then than I am now. I contribute that to burning out, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, go there, went there, and I went to. You usually had the tradition based on this first trip to go to the same restaurant and eat one of the same dishes, and I've done this every year until 2023 when I came here the first time with Ringo, and we went here, and I got the shock of my life. The entire building was leveled to the ground. Nothing was there, just grass basically, and I was like, oh my, what? No, no, no. My entire day is usually like, I don't eat when I land in Japan. I do everything necessary, and then immediately I go to Kitaurawa. I usually send my bag to the hotel and only have a backpack ready with a towel, um, the necessity is so I can manage for a day, and then I go to Kitaurawa. I eat at this ramen place, and then I go to the bathhouse. I forgot the name, even though I was in Kitaurawa yesterday, and I go there and uh, I take a bath in this so-called super center, which to this day I have not found a center I like more, but I found super center and been to super centers that I would say is objectively better. But when it comes to my own personal preference, I have gotten so much nostalgia and sentimentality tied to that place, and so that the thing that made me go from I like Japan as a concept to I love Japan to where I am today, where I feel calm and more collected in Japan than in Sweden. I mean, everything of that starts in Kitaurawa. Everything can be tied back to there. So that's why I think that there will be no Cento that can beat it. But yeah, 2023 was gone, and 2024 we didn't even go there because it was still gone according to Google Maps, and haven't checked, but I still go there. I mean, every trip I go to Kitaurawa a couple of times to go to this super center, and especially if I just want to wind down, because I mean, it's 40 minutes by train from the closest center that would people would associate as Tokyo, and it's tangible. It's not a place for foreigners, not much foreigners anyway. So I went there. I did just walk around first around my neighborhood, um, and a new building had been built in the place of my ramen store. It was a bit of expensive sushi restaurant and also too sterile that I would probably never use it. I mean, it looked too it was too modern in its outlay. But I was looking at things, taking picture of things, talking to people, getting very, very, very happy with how long and how intricate compared to before with the discussions and how happy people were when you were speaking to them in closer Tokyo. When you speak to people, they are, if you can speak and manage to at least be in the conversation, they are not usually happy. They are more like relieved, and but they are still like, okay, get to the point. Not really, but I mean, it's uh, it's not the same as them. You can see visible happiness when you can speak with someone because they think it's a bit more interesting, and I think that happens every time you are far away from city centers, and I mean all the big cities, Fukuoka included. But so yeah, it was very fun, and it was very interesting to speak like that. And also I visited the key places, like the parking lot that once were the building where the apartment where I lived 2008, 2010, 11. And 11 we lived there only for a week or so, a couple of days, and that was just because I wanted to show my then girlfriend Louise and um, my friend Patrick and another guy, Daniel. Yeah, I just wanted to show them Kitaurawa because I mean I was going there anyway, and it meant so much to me. I wanted to show it. I mean, showcase my experience, kind of. And to 2013. I don't think we lived there, actually. I don't remember. I think it was only me and Patrick, and I think we just lived in the city. I don't remember, and it's I have to check that up. I know that we lived mostly in town. Yeah. I think we did that the entire time, actually. Yeah. We went to a place then called Palace, Japan, and that is another story. Anyhow, so I usually go there, go to the parking lot there where that building, where the apartment once was, and then I go to the stairways. Because back then I needed internet and there was no internet in the building, and they still did not have SIMs and stuff, and phones from the West did not work. You needed to rent an entire new phone. I mean, smartphones weren't really a thing the first trip 2008, and it had just started to become a thing, but they were not. They were still not compatible with the Japanese networks back then. So anyhow, I go there. I go to the stairway, and the story of the stairway is that there was an internet cafe on the same floor and the floor above, and I tried to find internet. And the first time, 2008, I did not have. I mean, it was go to an internet cafe or no internet at all. I mean, connectivity is a thing that in the past 15 years have gone from almost like you only are connected on the evenings to all the time. And back then in 2008, when I came to the apartment in the evening, I met a Frenchman and a Brit, and they showed me the internet cafe. And the internet cafe I thought then was very, very expensive. It wasn't, but I was very, very poor back then, and I I try to save on everything, like the stingy person I am was. I don't know if I am anymore. Anyhow, but then I had my laptop with me, and I brought it with me once to to that place, and then I realized the Wi-Fi there is free. It's completely free. It's open, and it was named something something free. So I was like, why would I rent a room? Yeah, well, so I just went out the emergency stairs and put my computer there in the stairway somewhere where I could, like on a railing, write. And I went there twice a day, once to upload my blog. I wrote my blog in a Word document, and I went there, went to the sites I wanted, like my blog, and uploaded it, and started MSN and chatted with some people, answered some mails, did some stuff, then went back. And I did this like every day the first trip, and in 2010 when me and my buddy Drak, when we were here, we went there as well. And in the group chat, he mentioned like how uncomfortable we made the Japanese people, because just imagine this: you have an emergency stairwell. It's not an emergency stairwell, but it's a stairwell that's outside the house where people want to go down to the street without needing to use the elevator inside. So they are thinking of, let's go down this dark, unlit stairway where we are alone and doesn't need to bother other people. And then suddenly, when they come to a flight, there is two foreigners, one extremely strange looking, and another one pale as a ghost and long like the Slender Man, just standing there in the stairway, taking up too much space and being so in the way. And don't and they're like, okay, well, should I continue past them or should I go up? Most people were stopping and visibly having this dilemma, and most of them, half, more than half, just went back up and into and took the elevator instead. We made them so uncomfortable. So yeah, that stairway has been of significance both for my memories of this, and as well as the only way to actually get yeah, to get internet and stuff every day. And then let's see, I went down this happy road, which the stairways is in the beginning of the happy road, and the happy road has changed. There are a few places that I am amazed to still left, like the place I ate at mostly, Matsia, which is a gyudon place. I ate their curry, and I never actually the first trip when ate any gyudon. And gyudon is like a rice bowl with thin slices of meat on top and some vegetables on it as well, so it's just a rice bowl. Both of these are very cheap, but I only ate curry, probably because the first thing I managed to order back then was curry rice, and it was then it was 400, 360 to 400 yen, depending on if you just wanted me the curry soup kind of, and or if you wanted some meat in the curry soup. And 400 back then was let's see, 7 times 4, 28 28 Swedish crowns. So it was super cheap, and I went to Japan without an actual budget. So that was kind of what I ate. Um, quite a lot. So that matcha is still left. It has changed since last year, though. Last year it still had the same kind of seating I was used to, but this year it has, I think they have extended the building because it's twice as deep as before, so it was a long corridor, and instead of having booths on the side, they now just had single person seating along one wall and completely open along the other one. And then a couple of years ago, when I went to Kitayura, they had opened a new store, which is Koko Ichibanya. It's a franchise that is very good curry, I would say, but they are now door to door and having that place, and because now I think that Matsuya is better at gyudon than at curry, because Koko Ichibanya is my favorite curry place, and now that is there as well. The Yakuniki place had it closed down. One of the pachinko halls, it was three before, and then a couple of years ago it was just two, and now it's just one pachinko hall in Kitaura. So one of them had closed down. There was some more fitness places along the road, and I went to one of the first places I ever went to where you get personalized sushi, where you just order one piece at a time, where there is a sushi chef behind the counter that is preparing everything for most of the people. You can order a plate as well, but most of the people that went there, the locals, were just doing, oh, can I get this? Can I get this? Almost as if it were kaiten sushi, but with only 5 seats. That one is still there, and it's been there for well over 15 years. And then the first center I went to, not the super center, I first thought it was gone because there was a super new building with some fancy restaurant, but I had just misremembered where the that center was, because it's basically in an alleyway, looks super suspicious, and it was a center that was, at least back then, owned by Yakuza, because I had an experience once um, where there suddenly came in a super tattooed guy in the center, and center is a public bathhouse, by the way. Come into the place, and just everyone left, and I was super confused, and he was super kind, but he told me to leave in no uncertain terms, and then the entire place was kind of cleared out, and a lot of very suspicious looking, almost traditional yakuzas went in, and it was interesting. And I remember it being, I was a bit nervous, a bit scared maybe, because it felt like, oh, will they will they beat me up just because of shit? But I since realized that I mean, what would they earn in just beating up a random person? They wanted the place for themselves, and they probably owned it because no one was making protest. Because as soon as this guy came in, everyone just exited. Nothing special, and the next day it was open again. Um, very small place, but it was cheap, it was nice, and since you didn't have any showers or way to clean yourself in the apartment, I went there quite often. And the Super Cento, which I got introduced to later, was too expensive. I mean, more than twice the price to just clean yourself. And I mean, it's too big and it feels like a waste going there and just, oh, I need to take a shower. And it's like, nah, I need to relax. This is kind of better than 99% of all spas in Sweden. So anyhow, so I went there, saw that, and I also saw this supermarket. I didn't go into it. I didn't have a reason to. In the beginning, this supermarket was named Sati, but then a couple of years after I went there, I do think it was 2011 maybe, it was Aeon, and before 2010, I didn't see any Aeons. Now Aeon is a very big brand of supermarket chains, so I think they just bought up a lot of these smaller one. But I was very impressed by that supermarket the first time I came here. But after that, I just went to the Supercenter and Kitaura. If you think this is kind of where the station is, you can go out on one side and another side. This is very common in Japan, where you have a train station and the tracks, and then you have two different sides of the tracks. And one other thing I find very interesting when it comes to the smaller places is that it's almost always one side of the track is better than the other. It feels like two different neighborhoods radically. Like here, the sheep people live, and you can find a lot of very suspicious and special kinds of individuals. And on the other side, it's like a proper city with people that are all following the norm of the place instead, and with more stores, high-end things and stuff like that. And the Kitaura was the same before. I don't remember which side is which, but the side I lived on was the rundown place more with more poverty, or at least less rich feel, and the other side had more stores. It had a McDonald's. Oh, it was so fancy. But comparatively, right now, the rundown side has now matched the other side. It feels like, and the entire area of Kitaurawa feels very much fresher than before, which is both good and bad. Bad in the way that I actually liked the feeling of being in a place where, from a Japanese standard, it wasn't that fancy. It was more real, you know. I don't know how to describe it. But anyhow, but it's also good to see that the place is thriving, because it really feels like it's thriving. So yeah, so before I went to the center, I actually found a Swedish dentist, kind of. Uh, Not a dentist per se, but I saw a big sign which had a Swedish sign, which I have seen before, but I didn't have the courage or the vocabulary to actually speak. But this time I'm looking for conversations everywhere I can find it. So when I saw it, I went in and I started talking to the receptionist and said, "Oh, I am noticing that your sign, which I didn't know the word for, I just said sign, look like a Swedish flag." And she was answering and pointing to a thing I hadn't noticed that was next to her. It was a Swedish flag, one of these that it's an older kind of wooden flag that you get for midsummers and for graduations and things. I Old things. I have had a couple of these when I was younger. Gotten them from my grandfather and stuff. Anyhow, and she was saying, "Oh, we have one here as well." And I was asking why, and she told their doctor, the dentist, was actually had actually gotten his degree in dentistry from Sweden, in Göteborg, and she got super excited, like, "Oh, you must come here, you must come here." She wants me to come there today, or soon, because the doctor had just been on vacation and returned today to work, and I said I will probably return. I don't think I will return today though. I might, but I mean, maybe I usually want to go to Kitaurawa once a week to go to the center. So yeah, but that was fun. And then I went over to the other side of the tracks. Nothing there is super special other than the first supermarket I went to where they have escalators in the supermarket. I didn't go into that either. I just went to the center and I checked in, and they have raised the prices a bit, but it still is 900 yen, and 900 yen right now, I'm not even certain if it's 60 or 70 kroners. It doesn't matter. It's still pretty cheap, because if you just want to go into a normal bathhouse in Sweden, or God forbid a spa, it's three 600 at least, and it's not even close to as good. Uh, so the thing I like with this super center is it's a good center to begin with, and then you have this one, two, three, four, five, six, seven different pools. You have one which has aromatic water and is around 40 to 41 degrees. And you have another one which is kind of a general indoor pool, but in that pool you have two electric chairs, kind of. It's meant for you to sit in and to have muscles in your body to be through a kind of electrotherapy. It is depending on how tense your muscles are. It's painful, but in some degrees, but it's very nice afterwards. So I use this, of course, and I also put my foot in it because I have seen people do it, and I wanted to try it, and I was very careful because I don't really know what happens with this metal plate. Usually, I think that stronger magnetic fields are the only problem, because it's not supposed to be whatever it's called, conductive. But yeah, I tried it, and I almost felt nothing in the broken leg, which is partly why I did it. And it was very weird that you can get the confirmation how much the nerves have, according to what I read, fallen asleep with just a couple of months of doing nothing. They just shut down, and that is part of the problem why it is hard to do stuff. I am realizing now that this video is very long, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, Kitaurawa, something exciting happens. This is what happens, and I ramble on. Anyhow, I went there for that, and the other baths are kind of a massage with high pressure water underwater. It makes my back itch quite a lot, and I saw other people had the same problem. But it is very nice as well, because it's like massage, soft massage from underneath when you're just laying there, very very relaxed. Then they have a cold bath, between 10 to 12 degrees, very nice before and after sauna, which they also have. And then they have outside, they have three pools, one that is just outside and the hottest one they have, which I like. And then they have kind of single baths, which is our big vases you kind of sit in. Uh, they are a bit uncomfortable right now, but I could do a lot of my exercises with my foot in them. And then they have a quiet bath, which is basically a waterbed where you just relax in a enclosed area for as long as you want. So yeah, I went there. I was in the bath for 3 hours and relaxed, and my back, it's amazing. I was thinking of taking a massage as well, but I came there too late yesterday, so no massage. But it should be a good thing to get a massage. I am pretty stale. I also noticed when I was going in and out that since December I put on 13 kilos, so I'm above 80 again. Every Japan trip I go up of a significant amount. I mean the weight, it's hard to, if you go here for vacation, you eat, and you don't always eat smart. And last trip, 3 months, I ate a bit smarter because I was trying to simulate living here and to see if that worked. I would really need a real kitchen. This kitchen would be fine. Last year the kitchen was smaller than my computer kind of, and only a rice cooker. It was limited in what I could do. In this I can do so much more in a such comfortable way. And yeah, I could really see myself living in an apartment like this. I know what I would do to make myself more comfortable, but it doesn't really matter. But this this would be enough. So yeah, I have felt fat and my stomach is very big, and I also have started to get these love handles, as people call them, and I don't like that. But I knew that really even before the trip, that okay, I am bigger than I should be. I haven't weighed myself since December. My uh, scale back home ran out of batteries, and I haven't fixed that while I was handicapped. So, but yeah, I already knew like, okay, I will go up now, but I will probably have to start getting back in shape when come back home. And this was confirmation I needed as well. I know now how much, but I won't do it during this trip. I am here to enjoy it and relax. It doesn't matter if I put on more kilos. I know I have the discipline enough to go down. So I will do that later. But it is what it is. It's not easy keeping weight sometimes, especially when you are semi-depressed and unable to move for months on end. And I mean, this trip is actually it was I booked it because I needed something to cheer me up and something to look forward to for every negative thing. And even so, I am not as flexible as I would be. This foot is limiting me a lot from what I would do. For instance, I would have by now walked home a couple of times. I like to walk, but I cannot walk that long. Around 10,000 to 15,000 steps, it hurts too much. It simply is too much. It is better, and I have made more progress now, just the last few days, uh, realizing that putting the foot to the maximum is very it's a very good method, because it gets better, but it still gets tired, and when it gets tired, it doesn't matter what I do, and it gets tired around 8,000 to 10,000 steps, and then I can continue until the pain grows too worse, too much. Yeah. So yeah, but I did a lot of exercises for the foot at the center, and after that I went up. I I took some customary traditional milk, drinking milk in association with the onsens. I don't onsen slash sento. I don't know where that tradition exactly came from, but I know that having a namatamago or right onsen egg and drinking milk is one tradition that Japanese people have that I somehow picked up on, and I like it so. Milk, and then just in Kitaurawa, I usually also take hoppy, and I ordered some karage, and it's so fucking good. I really need to continue to find out how to make it. The restaurant beneath my apartment, they are doing karage, but it is horrible. It is not karage, it's just chicken wings that they brand as karage. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Uh, and yeah, I know some of my friends call it I'm a purist, but it's not really a purist. It's more like if I order something, I want something. The dish they do, sure, it's fine, but it has something to do that not branding something else, and there is a difference. So if you ordered something or expect something and you get something else, it's like, oh, you want ice cream? Here, have this sausage in a bun. It's it's called sausage. It's called ice cream here, and it's like what? But this is not ice cream. Oh, you're a fucking purist, are you? And it's like, nah, this is an extreme example, but the thing is, if you want something and you brand it as something, but it is something that is so much different that it's not even close to it, it it deserves to be expressed in some way and be subcategorized as not the real thing and not even close to the real thing, especially if you do stuff that is unacceptable in the culture where it comes from. A fusion dish is a fusion dish, and it doesn't matter. I mean, fusion is okay in its own way, but if you like something specific and you get something completely different, it is different and it needs to be stated like that. And I don't think you need to go the American way to sue people, but it is still not a bad thing to be clear on that. So anyhow, after that, the hoppy is, by the way, an alcoholic beverage where you get some, I think it's potato wine or rice vodka or something like that. It's semi-strong liquor around 20 to 40%, and then you get a non-alcoholic beverage that you are always filling it up with. So it's very bitter and alcoholic in the beginning, and then the more you drink, the glass always stay the same level, and it changes tastes over time. The alcohol fades into it, so it's an easier way to drink a lot, or drink a lot to drink something, and it tastes a bit like very alcoholic beer, and then it goes slowly to become beer, and then non-alcoholic beer. It's in the end kind of. So, and last year, and I did not know this, last year, when I was out in Ueno and tried to drink with people, I met a Japanese person from Osaka that came to Tokyo for work, and I asked him if he liked hoppy because I was gonna order a hoppy, and he was like, I have no idea what hoppy is, and I was, you are like 50 and you are a Japanese person and you don't know hop, and he was like, nope. So I learned that it's this regional thing for the Tokyo area, and I know that all the Japanese areas have different regional um specialities in both drink and candy and sweets and bakeries and food and everything. They like to specialize and do variants in regions to distinguish themselves, and I really like that as well because it makes it easier and fun to go to a new place, even if it's like, okay, there is nothing visibly special here, but they have a different way to do this. It's like if Luleå would have had their own way to do Swedish meatballs, and then you go to Pita and there are a different way to do Swedish meatballs there. And I mean, this is fun, but also they have more regional dishes than I find most countries do. Every country has some, but here it feels like every place you go to, every region had have like a checklist, and they are kind of brainstorming different ways and different dishes, and it's fun. And Hoppy I didn't know was one of them last year. So, but after that I just went home. Kind of, I bought some snacks on the way because I was a bit drunk, and I also photobombed two Japanese girls photo, and first I thought they were like, "Oh no, what is he doing?" So I like, "Ah, I'm sorry," and they was like, "No, get in here," and we had a conversation, and then I was standing on the platform when I was changing, and there was a group of Japanese guys that were drunk or at least very tipsy, and they were talking about the courage of speaking to a foreigner in English, and I did what I usually do, like, oh, hello, in English, and then I immediately went to Japanese, and uh, it was very fun, and they wanted me to. The girls also wanted me to follow them wherever they were going. I don't remember. The boys were going to Roppongi. I was like, hell no, hell no, going to Roppongi. No, 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 no. Maybe someday, but also yesterday I knew that I wanted to get home. Otherwise, I would have stayed in Kitaurawa and done karaoke all night instead. But I didn't, since I don't have the driver's license. There were still a slim chance I could get it today, so I wanted to at least sleep here, so I might get it. Anyhow, I think that is basically it. It was a very good day. The first, with exception of meeting my friends last weekend, it was the first day where I was doing something like adventurous. I finished all of the relevant homework. I want to finish one more homework before I leave, but that's just making a video presentation and things that I don't feel any hurry of it. I have everything I need for it. The things that I want to do is the survey. I won't do the survey today. I still have some corrections to make. I've gotten a lot of feedback from people now, and I think that after I implement that, it's fine. But today, I will do other stuff instead. So I'm sorry for the long video. I know that not all are watching everything. I mean, YouTube gives you statistics more than you need, so you can see the average watching time per person, and some people I think skip ahead a lot, but it's fun anyway for me to do it. So, and it is made for personal satisfaction more than average satisfaction. And for those that want to know what happens in detail, what I do and are up to, these videos are the best way. I am not doing the blog. I'm not writing it down. A vlog is fun and easier. So. I also know that this makes me less willing to talk about it because, like I mentioned in the previous video, I don't like repeating myself. And when I have done this, it's like, ah, I've exhausted this. It will come up every now and then, and I will naturally go into, oh, this happened. But I don't want to repeat my day unless I have, if well, it comes up. So see you tomorrow, and hopefully I have gotten my driver's license, but otherwise Monday. I am less worried now when I'm keeping track on it. Bye.